TorranceCA.Gov.
Regardless of our own financial situations, in tough economic times, many of us try to scale back our expenses. Ladies may cut down on their manicures and families may cut down on eating out. But all of this belt-tightening means that some small businesses are feeling the squeeze. Reporter Siobhan Field tells us how 2 local businesses survive when we stop splurging.
It has been said that bakeries are a recession-proof business. So how do Torrance's beloved cake stores stack up?
In the bakery business, historically, they've done pretty well because people still need to treat themselves. So it's a lot easier to treat yourself with a couple of cookies, a cupcake, a donut, as opposed to a big night out at a fancy restaurant or a trip to Las Vegas.
Another bakery sustaining this economy is BABYCAKES Baking Company, one of the newest bakeries on the block. Owner Khryste Langlais set up shop right before the economy faltered and says it is the personal interaction she has with her customers that keeps them coming back.
I think the fact that I'm here a lot and I really can maintain that connection with my customers and get immediate feedback for what they're looking for, what they want, and what they don't want.
And while it's been a sweet ride so far, Langlais says there have been ups and downs throughout the last 3 years.
We saw an increase in the cost of raw ingredients. Gasoline went up right away at the end of 2007, and so that impacted our flour, our dairy, our eggs, pretty much all of the raw ingredients that we worked with. So immediately we saw an upshoot in those prices.
But creative ideas such as buy 2 get 1 free during happy hour and minimizing excess product have helped store owners get the best bang for their buck.
These are our new cupcake parfaits, and it's basically layers of cupcake with cream and filling and fruit. We use cupcakes that we overbaked.
The vanilla with chocolate buttercream is really popular.
Torrance Bakery has also implemented similar incentives.
Actually, one of our biggest days of the week, on Wednesdays, we have buy a dozen cookies and then you get a dozen free.
Would you like a receipt?
And business isn't slowing down for either of these companies.
We've been doing really well in the economy because people are still getting married. They're still celebrating graduations and promotions.
Indrea says Torrance Bakery works with brides to design cakes within their reduced wedding budgets and has won business at bridal shows by offering discounts in this tough economy.
They were some of our more higher-end designs, but the brides were able to get them, also be able to fit it into their budget and have the cake of their dreams.
Whether you're planning a wedding or hoping just to cut costs at home, think of what you can do to preserve the food that you buy. A cake like this can be frozen for a month so that you can enjoy delicious pieces for weeks.
Anything else I can get for you?
For CitiCABLE 3, I'm Siobhan Field. Back to you in the studio.
Torrance Bakery offers buy a dozen, get a dozen free on Wednesdays. And for news on BABYCAKES Baking Company Happy Hour, connect with them on Facebook or Twitter.
It's been nearly a month since Torrance's municipal elections. Now reporter Khryste shows us the similarities and differences among the city's newly re-elected council members.
Bill Sutherland, Tom Brewer, and Cliff Neumark, 3 strikingly different men, all looking forward to the next 4 years after getting re-elected to the Torrance City Council. The re-elected councilmen have one thing in common, their passion for government, but their similarities stop there.
I've worked for a living, and then I've had my own company, and I've worked in the company, and I know what it's like to have to make a paycheck on Fridays.
The blue-collar worker often takes an independent stance. In fact, he admits he's often the lone dissenter on the council. UCLA microbiologist Tom Brewer takes another angle.
I think it's very analytical about what I do at work, and it's very analytical what I do here. I go through the budget line by line, I go through the agenda and look at things, and so I think it's very similar.
Everybody brings their own set of skills to the job, but Cliff Neumark, who holds advanced degrees from prestigious colleges, says it all comes down to one simple truth.
It's a very big job interview with thousands of people making a decision.
Although it was their second time around, the council members all had different experiences on the campaign trail.
To a certain degree, it was easier the second time around because I was more well-versed in the issues.
There's an anti-incumbent feeling in this country. There's a feeling that, throw the bums out. And so I worked harder to get reelected this time than I did to get elected 4 years ago.
They're all grateful for their family's support. Each councilman feels especially humbled by the contributions their campaign supporters have offered over the years.
It keeps me humble because I realize if I was to break my promises or not to do what I would say, all these people will work on somebody else's campaign.
But getting reelected didn't mean they could rest on their laurels after the election. They still had to balance the $8.9 million deficit.
Very tough. 4 years ago, our budget hearings, 3 years ago, our budget hearings were what can we add on? A lot of fun. This time, what can we cut? It's terrible. There's no good cuts.
With the budget and election out of the way for now, they look forward to what the coming years will bring.
I'm going to affect your life more than the state of California does. You know, we affect the roads you drive on, the police force that you have, the fire service that you have. Everything is controlled by us. And I think that's kind of neat.
A culture and an environment where we have government that provides good communication with residents about how it's doing its business, and therefore enhancing the trust that residents have in government.
And while creating business opportunities, preserving history, and taking care of the environment are just 3 of the areas they can agree to focus on, the City Council has an important message for the public.
I'm not omnipresent. I don't know everything there is to know. You have to realize that there are limitations for all of us. And it's much better to come up and say, you know, I think instead of doing this, you ought to do this.
Please, please feel free to contact any of your city council people if you have a problem.
Yes, sir.
This is Khryste reporting for CitiCABLE 3.
Thanks, Khryste. And don't forget, you can watch City Council meetings live every Tuesday evening right here on CitiCABLE Channel 3. The meetings also stream live on the city's website at TorranceCA.Gov.
As of July 5th,